Hi, welcome to Wisecat. In today's video we're going to be talking about versions, how Moodle is versioned, how to keep yourself up to date with the latest versions, and especially my favorite topic, Git. So we're going to be talking about how Git actually helps you stay up to date and prevents you from getting hacked. Because let's face it, the whole idea of getting the latest releases is to get the latest security patches. You get the latest security patches, you have the most secure Moodle available. So updating is a pain. Everybody knows that, except for those who are using Git. They know that it's not a pain at all. It's really simple. It's 5 commands. I've got another video about that. But anyway, we'll briefly touch upon what Git is and how it actually helps us keep up to date. But to understand that, actually, we do have to understand what releases are and what versions are and what version we're running. So that's a good way to start. So I've got here myself a Moodle that I've pretended I haven't installed using Git. I did use Git. I cheated. It's too easy for me not to. But anyway, pretending that this is not a Git Moodle, what I would have done is gone to Moodle.org. I would have gone to the downloads page. I would have downloaded myself a Moodle, a zip package or something like that. Ooh, I'll get my face out of the way. And once I've downloaded these zip packages, zip or a TGZ, then I would upload that to my server, and then making sure that I don't overwrite or delete any of my plugin folders, I would replace the existing Moodle code with this code, and then I would go and run an upgrade.php either through the web interface or using the CLI. And then finally I'd be done. And in another 2 months, I would have to do that all over again. Okay, my pretend Moodle. Let's have a look at it. So what version am I rocking? Well, let's say that I got a little bit busy. I got tired, and I didn't have a chance to go through that rigmarole since 4.1.2. So, okay, that's fine, right? That's fine. Of course that's fine, because 4.1 is an LTS. And an LTS means you can use it for a long time, right? Well, if we look at the Moodle Releases page, we can see that yes, 4.1 is indeed supported for security. But 4.1.2 is not. What? How can 4.1 be an LTS and be supported, but 4.1.2, which is part of the 4.1, not be? Well, here's the thing. The thing is about, down here, there is an explanation of major and minor point releases. Let's have a quick look at this in general. So we do know that my Moodle here is a 4, right? So it's on version 4. And I then said that it was 4.1.2. All right, so if we actually go back to my Moodle here, we can see down here, 4.1.2. Okay, so that's seems not too bad, except, well, here's the thing. When it comes to this 4.1.2, what does this mean? Well, let's go through it bit by bit. 4 is just, it doesn't really have a name actually in here. You've got major and minor releases as listed down here, but actually the 4 does not really have a name. Let's give it a name. I'm going to call it the super hyper release. Okay, because it's bigger than major. But basically 4.1, basically you could actually think about this as like 41-ish, but it's not really. The 4 just means, it's sort of like the generation. It's how many massive changing, paradigm shifting type changes have we been through. Usually each time that number goes up, so when it goes up to Moodle 5, you can expect some pretty significant improvements. The 1 here, wait a minute, I'm changing my numbers. Jeez, I should never do these things on the fly, but I always do. Anyway, the 1 here that is flashing on your screen now, that is the major release. Now, this is the kind of release, the kind of change that you don't want to do mid-semester. What you really want to do is upgrade that, say, every 6 months when a new major release comes out. Because as you can see here, it says that the frequency of major releases is 6 monthly. So usually in April or October, you'll get that, that'll become available. Now, for me, my semesters start in April and finish in, say, June. So I'll usually upgrade my Moodles around about July or August, because I don't want to do it in the middle of the semester. Not these ones, because this will actually change the look and feel, and the user experience and everything will change slightly from major release to major release. So I'll do that in the semester break, right? So that I'm not messing with my students and professors mid-semester. I did actually do an upgrade, a major release upgrade once mid-semester, and I feared for my life. The users were that mad. So don't do that in mid-semester, right? That'd be a bad one. But this next one here, the minor point releases, they come out every 2 months. And this is where we're talking about the 0.2, this extra 0.2 that we're on at the moment. That is a minor or a point release. Now, point releases themselves go from, say, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, etc. every 2 months. Now, in between the point releases, there is actually another kind of release which hasn't really appeared on, isn't really noted on this page so much, but it's just the weekly releases. Now, every week there's additional code is actually pushed through to the Git repositories, and that can give you a plus there. So 4.1.6 plus is a weekly release that follows the the 2 monthly 4.1.6 release. Okay, so currently on the 4.1, the actual latest release would be 4.1.8, as in the 2 monthly release. That would have been released in December. And then plus, that is the actual weekly. That is the latest and greatest of Moodle 4.1 that exists. That's your version that has all of these security updates. Okay, so I'll put it this way. My current Moodle that you saw just now, this test Moodle 4.1.2, does not have those security updates. But the 4.1.8, if I upgrade to 4.1.8, that does have the security updates. So it's rather important that I stay up to date with my, well, at least the 2 monthlies. Bi-monthly? Yeah. Anyway, at least the 2 monthly minor or point releases. I want to stay up to date with these all the way through the semester, because that's when a security hole is found mid-semester or something like that. But students or some nefarious guys or something might actually be inconvenienced by that and put at risk by that. So you want to update those, at least the 2 monthly ones. But also in between, with Git, it's so simple to just stay up to date every week. Why not just get the weeklies? Also, there's another thing here that's another point, is if we see this recent release schedule for 4.3, well, 4.3.2 actually came out 22nd of December. And why did that come out on the 22nd of December? It's not really scheduled. 4.3.2, that's a minor release. Well, it's an unscheduled one. Well, why was that an unscheduled one release? Well, because in the 4.3.1 release that was put out there were a couple of bugs that broke a few things. Well, okay. I've upgraded to 4.3.1. What do I do? Well, you live with the bugs, or you use a git pull and upgrade straight to 4.3.2. And upgrading to 4.3.2 and having those bugs not cause any more problems, that's a lot better than living with them for the foreseeable future. So anyway, Git basically makes these upgrades really, really simple to do. So let's have a look at what would happen. All right. Now, normally, okay, yeah. So download the zip, upload it to the server, replace the code, run the upgrade. Too much work. Okay, but all I want to do is I just want to upgrade this to the latest 4.1. So let's go here. So here's my command line. I am in my Moodle directory, and I'm just going to go git checkout. This is what you would do for a major upgrade, but anyway, I'm just going to get myself back onto the branch, the Moodle branch for 401 stable. Now that alone, right, you can see that I'd actually detached the head. I mean, that's a subject for another video, but the term is detached the head at 4.1.2. So now I've just gone back onto the 401 branch, and that's the branch that just says, you know, just keep me up to date. Just track the 401 branching, and if it's a 4.1, Moodle 4.1, give me those updates. All right, I do that, and instantly I'm now up at this Moodle 4.1.8 plus. If I refresh this screen, that will start processing. Let's do it. Settings were added during the last Moodle upgrade. Yeah, that hasn't actually gone to upgrade PHP yet. Okay, let's just invoke it by command line. Sudo -u www.data admin CLI upgrade.php. Ah, that's right. I always forget to add the PHP binary in here. It doesn't auto-complete if you leave that out. Right, so now you can see that this is actually upgrading me from 4.1.2 to 4.1.8 plus. Right, yeah, there is a way I could actually get to the proper place inside the web Moodle, but I prefer doing them via the command line anyway. So anyway, that's going to set some new default settings for me as well. Boom, set them. Right, and that's a lot easier than having to mess around with things. So let's just, go back to, say, the admin. All right, so now we can see how painless was that, by the way. That's just basically, if you're actually doing this on a real production server, so now let's say if 4.1.9 comes out and I want to upgrade, git pull, as long as you can spell it. That's how easy it is. And it's already up to date because, this is a freshly pulled git. So git pull is just there, and I git pull, and every time I want to upgrade, I want to make sure that my my Moodle software, my Moodle code is up to date with all of those lovely, juicy security packages, right? All that LTS goodness. Because the LTS goodness only comes from having your point releases up to date. If you want all that lovely LTS goodness from being on 4.1 forever, then you got to do your git pulls. You got to do your git pulls and stay on the current security enable version, right? You don't want to stay on 4.2 forever. That would be very, very bad. Right. So anyway, the other advantage of this is that you see that I just did an upgrade. Now, in my test Moodle here, in this test Moodle, I actually have some plugins. What about the plugins? Think about the plugins. Adam, think about the plugins. Will somebody think about the plugins? Yes, I thought about the plugins. In fact, the plugins are untouched by your git pull. Right? They're just there. And they're hanging out, and they're good. They're my additional plugins. I got 10 additional plugins installed on this test Moodle, and they're there. And one of those plugins is right down over here. Yeah, the accessibility plugin. Remember this guy? Hey, yeah. You can change the background color and stuff like that. Yeah. That's installed, and it's still working, and it's working fine because all I did was a git pull. Right, so you don't typically have to worry about the plugins that much when, you want to check for available updates and you want to keep your plugins up to date, but you don't have to worry about breaking them usually for a git pull, just going from 4.1.8 to 4.1.9 or something like that. That typically doesn't break anything. But anyway, let's see, I've got my plugins up to date and everything like that. Time to actually move to the next major version, which would be Moodle 4.2, right? Let's say I'm ready to upgrade to that. Git check out. Now remember, we're on Moodle 401, right? So actually, if I do a git status, right, I get my status out there, and I am on branch Moodle 401 stable. Okay, Moodle 401 stable, but that's for, Moodle 402 is the 4.2 one. Right? Actually, git branch -a. That will list all of the branches. You can see there are a whole bunch of them, right? See, we've got all the way down to 403 stable, and there's also main and master. Don't use these ones. That will cause all sorts of problems. There's a 402 right there. That's the one that we want to upgrade to next. And 403 stable is there, and that's the one that we'll probably upgrade to again. So, how hard is this to actually do? Not hard at all, because you just check out that code. Check out Moodle. We want 402. Whoops, 402 stable. That's all we want, and we do that, and that has changed my git code. Git status, as you can see, it has not affected my plugins. It's just installed the new version of Moodle. And I can run my my upgrade PHP, and it'll just do the upgrade. See, 4.1.8 to 4.2.5 plus, and it's upgrading me not only to 4.2 but to the latest release of 4.2, 4.2.5 plus, which, as I said before, is the fifth by 2-monthly release, and it's also a weekly following that release. So anyway, just say yes and boom, 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 brrr, and that's, this is the success that we always go through whenever we're upgrading our Moodle to another version. So that's gone to 4.2, and the idea of keeping your Moodle up to date 4.2 wise, well, of course, what you would want to do next is go and check for more updates in your plugins and things like that. But if you do this, even if your plan was to go from 4.1 to 4.3 directly, skipping 4.2 completely, I would actually suggest don't do that. Stop by 4.2, check it out, have a bit of a look around, make sure nothing's broken, make sure your plugins still work, and discover whether if you're going to have trouble with the plugins, they'll, in my other video, the last video I made, actually, I went through this a couple of different times where you go back and you check out your plugins, you update your plugins. And the reason to update your plugins is because you might have a plugin that works with 4.2 and 4.3, but doesn't work with 4.1, or, vice versa. So if you actually upgrade directly from 4.1 to 4.3, you might have problems. But if you upgrade with 4.2 and upgrade the plugins in the middle step there, you might have fewer problems. You still might encounter a few problems, but they're going to be smaller, they're going to be fewer, they're going to be easier to fix. So stopping by 4.2 means less work. Using Git means it's easy to stop by 4.2, or to go up again to 4.3. And so let's say I want to go to 4.3. Well, Git check out 4.402 got us to 4.2. Let's go 403. Now we're on 4.3. And if I upgrade that again, that's just going to say, hey, you want to go to 4.3.2? Right? Let's go to 4.3.2 plus. And we hit that yes button, and boom. Now it's upgrading to 4.3.2. I mean, in the other video, like I mentioned in the other video, you do have to make sure that your PHP is supported and everything. I'm on PHP 8.1. I double-checked, triple-checked, made sure that it was supported for all 3 of these upgrades. In fact, there's a reason why I actually started out on 4.1.2, because that is the lowest version that is supported by PHP 8.1. So anyway, that's how this goes. So now, I've just actually gone through 4.1 to 4.1.8 plus. Right? Let's actually have a look at that. I started out at 4.1.2. I then upgraded to 4.1.8 plus. I then went from 4. to 4.2.5 plus, and then upgraded that to 4.3.2 plus. Right? I just did some like 4 upgrades right now in the space of, 5 minutes. Seriously, when we say use Git, if you're not using Git, you're working too hard. Way too hard. I totally mean it. Right? So, and the thing is that next time, okay, there's an update, 4.2 plus turns into 4.3. Right? How am I going to update that? You got to keep up to date. When that becomes 4.3 and when 4.3.3 is released, which it should be next month, well, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to go all git pull. And it'll update me to 4.3.3. And I'll be just happy. So, the real recommendation is just use Git. Use Git for it. I know there are some people who say, Git's too much to learn and things like that. It's not actually that much. There are a handful of commands you need to know in order to do it. I'm actually planning later on this year, hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm going to give you another video that shows you an even easier method. I previously made one about Gitifying your Moodle. I'm going to make another one that actually does it in an even easier way. Makes it even easier for you to get using Git so you don't get hacked. Hey, that's an idea for the title card for this video. I think that's exactly what I might do. Don't get hacked. Okay, so anyway, that's it for this particular video. So the idea is just to summarize. There are versions of Moodle that you really want to keep up to date because the releases, you've got the super hyper major release, you've got the major release, the super hyper release, the major release, and you've also got the point releases. The point releases are the ones that contain all of those security updates and things like that that keep you up to date. Right? They're the ones that you really want to get while the semester's running. You want to get these ones as soon as possible. They're security updates. Security updates keep you secure. To get them easily and deploy them quickly, to get this current security, this lovely security updates, to get those and implement them into your Moodle, well, the easiest way to do that's using Git. Use the Git, and then that'll get you nice and up to date. And as you can see, I've just ended on 4.3.2. I did that right in front of you just as sort of a side note to this video. The main purpose of this video is to actually say, get those releases, use Git, stay up to date. Even if you're on an LTS, stay up to date with your point releases, the minor releases, the point releases, to make sure that you've got those security updates. Okay? Because, please, Moodle safely. Because Moodling is good, but Moodling safely is even better. Good luck. If you're going to try any of these, by the way, remember, do make sure that you take backups first. Always take backups. Why not just take a backup right now? You want to. Just for fun. Backups are fun. All right. Also, I'm going to start saying this a little bit more, but please hit that subscribe button if you want to see the next one where I'm actually going to be talking about Gitifying your own Moodle if you're one of these people who works too hard and always does it from the zip file. Check out my previous video on it, or subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Smash it and subscribe so that a lot of people actually aren't subscribed. YouTube sent me an email later saying most of the people watching your videos are not subscribed. Don't make YouTube unhappy about that. They're very sad. So please subscribe. Okay, that's it. That's my groveling, begging, shameless plug. See you in the next one. Cheers.